dropping in. So allow the spine to be nice and tall and upright. And just let your hands relax to the side of your body. Good. Let's take a deep inhale, lift the shoulders up to your ears, and then gently slide them down and back. Good. Now allow the eyes to close. And see if you can roll the eyes up as if you're looking to the space between the eyebrows. And allow your awareness to observe the pulsation and the rhythm of your breath. Just noticing the rise and the fall. Allow for a deep inhalation through the nose. Let your whole body expand. And then let out a gentle sigh as you breathe out through your mouth. Just breathing out any tension that may be stuck in the body. If you feel like you need to repeat that one more time, take a deep breath in, fill the body with prana. And a big sigh out through your mouth. Wonderful. Now begin to breathe in through the nose. See if you can breathe in 4 to 5 counts. Hold the breath for 4 to 5 counts, keeping the gaze strongly at the third eye, especially in that inhale retention. And then gently begin to breathe out through the nose, 4 to 5 counts. Visualize the breath moving down the central channel, the spine, into the earth. When you get to the bottom of the exhale, hold that exhale retention 4 to 5 counts. And continue at your own pace here. Breathing in slowly, visualize the in-breath rising up the central channel, filling your body. Pulling that energy all the way up to your third eye, holding that in-breath. And when you're breathing out, slowly visualize the breath moving down the central channel, grounding you to the earth. And then stay in that empty space, breathless state. So we're working here with the two currents of prana. The rising breath is the prana breath, the nourishing breath, the yin breath. And the downward movement of the breath is called apan, detoxifies, releases anything that no longer serves you. I invite you to do one more round like this. Try to have 4 equal parts. Noticing how this breathing allows you to really drop in and become present for the practice. Allowing the mind to be like a tranquil lake. Which allows the body to become more receptive. And yielding. Wonderful. When you get to the bottom of the exhale, hold that exhale retention for as long as you can. Feel the vastness of the spaciousness that arises within you as you hold the breath. Tapping into that unity consciousness, that oneness state. Good, and slowly allow the breath to normalize. And we'll begin to spinal flex. So as we inhale, let the heart come forward, draw the shoulder blades together. Let's just warm up the spine a little bit before we move into a therapeutic restorative posture. As you exhale, round the spine. Inhale, heart comes forward, draw the shoulder blades together, lift your chin. Exhale, rounding the spine. Deep breath in, heart expand as you exhale, rounding the spine. Deep breath in and out. And exhale. Next, and as you inhale and the heart comes forward, see if you can lean towards the right side and then round the spine back, like you're creating this big circle with your torso. And go nice and slowly, circling the spine. Feel yourself moving forward and back off your sit bones. Let your shoulders move and your head. Really move with your breath. So as you inhale, you come forward. As you exhale, you draw back and you round your spine. Inhale, the heart extends forward. Exhale, contract the belly in. Feel the back of the heart expanding. Now, so feel the duality in the movement of expansion, contraction, expansion, contraction. Inhale and exhale. Good, and then see if you can reverse the movement, go in the opposite direction. Three more big rounds here, creating a fluid spine. The more fluid your spine becomes, the more ageless you become. Good. One more big circle. Beautiful. Allow yourself to come back into neutral. Draw your awareness back to the third eye, internal gaze, Sambhav Mudra. Now, Sambhav Mudra means the eyes are closed, but they're elevated, looking up towards the stargate, which is between the eyebrows. We'll do one pranayama, and then we'll go into our startive postures. We're doing Prakash Pranayam, breath of light. And we'll do 7 sips of breath in through the nose. And every time you sip in the breath, imagine you're pulling the energy up higher and higher up the spinal column. You can also relate it to each energy center. So each sip of breath is for each energy center. Once you come to the top of the 7th inhalation, hold the breath for as long as you can, keeping that gaze at the third eye. And then a slow release of the breath out through your nose. Feel the downward movement. So the inhalations are quite sharp and quick. So I'll demonstrate the first round, and you can bring your hands in Gyan Mudra, index fingers to thumbs. Yeah, so 7 short, sharp inhalations through the nose. Here we go. Hold as long as you can. Feel yourself filling with light, golden light. Slowly breathe out through your nose. And go at your own pace. Try not to exhale between the sips of breath in. Two more rounds at your own pace. Slowly return to normal breathing. Just notice the subtlety of this breath practice. This breath of light increases your vibration, increases the light from within, it creates lightness in your being. Beautiful. Hopefully you feel a little bit more dropped in, ready to be in nourishing and restorative posture. So we'll come into our first posture, and you can use 2 bolsters or a couple of pillows for this, but we'll come onto our back And I'd like you to place these at the top of your mat, and your legs are going to go over this. We're coming into bound angle pose, reclined. So recline yourself back here. Good, and let either the legs, the feet come over, or if you like to go more intense, bring the soles of your feet together, and then your legs are more on top of the bolster. If your hips get achy, you can always place bricks underneath to support you. If it's too high, you can just do one bolster as well. But make sure that you don't prop anything up underneath the neck too much. If you need a little support for the neck, the cervical spine, you can roll a towel to support that part of the body. But try not to crank the chin too much in towards the throat. There should be a neutral spine here. Now, hands can either relax on your navel center or open on the floor in a more receptive posture, palms facing up towards the sky. So just take your time settling in. And again, if at any time it feels a little too intense, you can make adjustments so that it's sustainable. We're spending quite a bit of time in each posture, so it's very important that the body is at ease. Now allow your eyes to close and bring your awareness back to that center point between the eyebrows, the command center, the energy center known as Ajna, which is also known as the third eye, the seat of your higher intuition, your perception, your ability to access higher information, the ability for you to receive incredible insights. We call these light bulb moments in our life. And they enter through the third eye. And on your next breath out, see if you can let your body relax a little bit more. See if you can let your fingers curl up towards the palms. Feel the shoulder blades melting more in towards the earth. And your sacrum. Allow your belly to soften. And see if you can relax your face as well. Allow your mouth to slightly open so there's no tension in and around your jaw. Now try to keep your feet together if you can so that the prana continues to move through the body in a figure 8 or infinity symbol way. So you're not leaking energy. It's said that we leak a lot of energy from the earth, so pressing our feet together. Our ancestors used to walk the earth in bare feet. And it's said that we can draw a lot of life force and life energy from the earth when we walk bare feet. But most of us wear shoes all day long, or we walk on concrete, which is the barrier to the energy of the earth. So this is a great alternative, is pressing the feet together, maintaining the vitality in the body. If your mind is wandering while you're lying here, draw your awareness back to the flow of your breath. Now, very slowly, on your next breath in, allow your arms to float up as if your in-breath is carrying the arms. Good, make sure the shoulder blades stay on the earth. And as you exhale, let the arms flow back. And see if you can let them fall back behind you on the floor. And it's okay if they don't touch the ground, but try to get them as low to the earth as you can. And good, and as you inhale, let the arms flow back overhead. And as you exhale, let the arms flow back down. Inhale, arms floating back overhead. And exhale, let them fall back behind you. And go 2 more times. Inhale, let the arms float up. Exhale, let them slowly float down. Inhale, let the arms flow back overhead. Exhale, let the arms flow to the earth, and we'll stay here for about 6 breaths. If this bothers your shoulder, you can take the arms wider. But the idea here is that we don't excessively arc the spine, keep a neutral spine. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Two more deep breaths in and out. Slowly, in your next breath in, let the arms float back up. And keep them pointing towards the sky. Let the palms face each other and really drop the back of the shoulders, the posterior deltoids down to the floor. Now cross your arms and give yourself a great big hug here. See if the opposite hand can grab the opposite shoulder blade. And very gently Rock a little bit from side to side, as if you're expanding more through the back of the heart. Yeah, those muscles can get super tight between the shoulder blades. So just a very gentle rocking motion from right to left, left to right. Good, and then slowly let your body come center. Inhale, let the arms reach back overhead and across the other arm in front of the other. If you forget, that's okay, and then gently rock again from side to side. Notice how you can move a little bit more now, twisting a little further from side to side. Good, 3 more. Wonderful. Slowly let your body come back to neutral. Release your hands. And we'll move into our next posture. So let your knees slowly come in. Let out a sigh here as the inner thighs are drawn back in. And then see if you can pull with your heels, the bolsters a little closer to your buttocks. Good. And then come up onto your forearms and remove one of the bolsters to the side. I'm going to put it over here so it's not in the way. And then see if you can lift your hips and coming into like a little bridge pose. Place that bolster underneath the sacrum. Walk your shoulder blades a little bit up so that the spine is nice and long. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Let your chin really drop in. Now you have the option to let the knees kind of collapse in toward each other to support the low back. Some of you may enjoy actually extending the legs out, which opens the front of the hip flexors, but it requires a little bit more opening in the low back. So please do what feels right in your body. And let your arms stay open to the side here. So we're inverting the flow of prana here. Giving the heart a break. It doesn't have to pump so hard. To bring the blood back up to the upper extremities from the lower body. Reversing the gravity in the body. And so what happens is when prana is able to come up higher, we can bring more awareness to the upper energy centers of the body, especially the heart, the throat, your third eye, and the crown of the head. So make sure you feel comfortable. Make any adjustments. If you're feeling cold, you can place a blanket over yourself. One thing that starts to happen when you deeply relax is like it's mimicking sleep state. Some of you who may wear those Apple Watches or Fitbits, sometimes it will register as that you're sleeping. And that's how deeply nourishing therapeutic and restorative yoga can be. So really feel the back of the heart melting into the floor. Let your shoulder blades stay wide. Make sure your palms are facing open so that you're in a receptive state. And if the palms are down, we're more on edge, as if we're waiting for the other shoe to drop, so to speak. So really make sure you roll your palms open. I always say that being for long periods of time in restorative postures is the most advanced yoga if we're talking about advanced levels. This requires someone to really master their mind, their feelings, because you can't busy yourself, you can't run away from it. So to be in these postures for long periods of time requires you to have some self-mastery. It teaches us to stay in a state of flow. And what is a state of flow? State of flow is when we can surrender to each moment without having to control always the outcome or the direction. But to just stay in a state of trust, surrender. And that allows us to come into flow state. We'll have heightened awareness in that state. Heightened creativity will flow through us. We will be more in tune with nature. We'll be more into a state of spontaneous joy, contentment, and peace. Feel free to alternate between knees bend, straight legs, or you can straighten one leg out for a while. Keep one knee bent for support. Three more breaths here. Now very gently, if your legs are straight, bend one knee at a time. When both feet are back on the earth, allow for a nice big sigh out through your mouth. And then allow one knee at a time to come in towards your chest. And this will allow for a nice stretch in that low back. And you can kind of rock here gently from side to side. You can let your knees kind of flare a little bit open. Good, and then let your right foot now fall to the earth. Keep your left knee in towards your chest. And lace your hands over your shin and just gently pull that knee in tight towards your chest or towards the shoulder if that feels more comfortable. And just let that knee kind of move from side to side across the midline of the body and then a little bit open. And just releasing that hip joint here. Good, and then create little circles here with your knee, with the leg, and just pulling it in and across. And letting the knee fall open and pulling it back in. You can make the circles big as you like. It's really good for that joint, increases the synovial fluid in the hip joint. And then see if you can reverse it, going the opposite direction. Bring it across, in and away. Good, 2 more circles. Wonderful, and slowly place your right ankle on top of your left quad here. And let your right knee fall open. Make sure your hips are level. Good, and let your hands again fall to the side of your body. So the only thing that's really active right now is your foot. And your right foot, you're pulling your toes as if they're pointing towards your knee, and let that knee be as heavy as you can. If you like to add a little more intensity, your right palm can press gently against the inner thigh. We'll stay here 6 breaths. This is a wonderful hip opener, but also it releases any tightness and tension in the low back. And some of you may feel that as you gently press into that right inner thigh, as if you're pulling it a little bit out of the socket, creating a nice stretch in that low back as well. One more breath. Wonderful. Slowly release the tension of that right inner thigh, lifting the right knee, let the right foot come back to the earth. And then just take your feet a little bit wider than your yoga mat, and then just let your knees kind of flop from side to side. And you can keep your head straight towards the ceiling, but just let your knees kind of float from side to side as they're windshield wipering from right to left, left to right. Yeah, and that pillow or that bolster is still underneath your sacrum. Wonderful. Now let your knees come centered. Tick-tock your feet back in so they're in alignment with your hip. Let the other knee, the left knee, now come in towards your chest and hug it nice and tightly.
Good, and then just let that knee kind of move across the midline and away to the outside of your rib cage. So as you bring the knee across, you might feel it pulling a little bit on the over the hip here. That's that piriformis muscle. And then turn that into little circles. It's okay to let go of your knee and then grab it when you can reach it again, really pulling in tightly. Let the knee fall open. You really just try to relax it. Try not to control it too much, especially when it falls open. Just kind of let it fall a little bit. Good, and then see if you can reverse it, go in the opposite direction. Good, one more. Wonderful, bring the knee back center and then place your left ankle on top of your right quadricep. Let that left knee fall open. It's really important you keep that left foot engaged. It's active, it's really flexing strongly. Let that left knee get heavy. If you like more intensity, left palm on the inner thigh, and gently think of pushing it away from your body, giving that extraction feeling like you're trying to extract the leg out of the hip socket. We'll stay here 6 breaths. One more deep breath in and out. Wonderful. Slowly release the tension by releasing that left hand. Slowly let the left knee float up, and then let the other knee come back up again and bring it a little bit wider. Let your knees fall wider. Pull it in towards you as you lengthen your tailbone into that diagonal, feeling that stretch in your low back around the sacrum. Good. 2 more breaths here. Good. Now, slow as you exhale, let one foot at a time come to the floor. Good. Let out a big sigh here. And as you inhale, very gently lift your hips away. Slide that bolster from underneath of you. Let your spine roll gently towards the floor. Good. Now allow the knees to fall to the right side. Move your hips slightly to the left and coming into a twist here. But use your bolster so that it's a restorative twist. Place it in between your legs. Let the other knee fall on top and then try to roll the left shoulder blade back down to the floor. If that's not possible, take a blanket or another pillow and place it behind that left shoulder so that you're supported. Your head can stay neutral, or you can let it fall over towards the left side. So twists have a very important purpose in our body. When we twist, we're actually moving lymphatic fluid. Lymph doesn't move on its own. It's really dependent on muscular contractions and muscular movements. So when we twist the spine, it allows the lymph to move in and around the tissues there. So really continue to breathe deeply, focusing on that breath rising and falling. See if you can practice one-pointed awareness, even though your eyes are closed. See if you can look to that space between the eyebrows. 3 more breaths here. Now, very, very slowly, as you inhale, let the head come center if it's turned. Slowly allow the top knee to lift. Let the foot come to the earth. Slowly let yourself come center. Grab that bolster. And I'd like you to place it on top of your body here and stretch your legs out. As we take a little counter pose after that deep twist. And you can either hug the pillow and pull it in towards you. And so this creates a heaviness. It's really excellent for grounding. Really good for people who suffer sometimes from slight anxiety or feeling a little panicked. It's really great to calm the central nervous system. And just really feel the connection to the earth as you hug that pillow and press it into your belly. Draw deep inhale through your nose. Let your whole body expand. As you exhale, let out a sigh. Release your hands from the bolster. Bring one knee back up at a time. And this time we'll lift our hips. Move your hips to the opposite direction. And let both knees fall to the left side. So hips go to the right if you drop your knees to the left. Slide that bolster between your inner thighs. And let that top leg go over the bottom. And good. And then roll that right shoulder blade on the floor. Head can either turn to the right or head can stay neutral. 3 more breaths here. Now, very slowly, your next breath in, let the head come center. Slowly allow the top knee to float up. Gently let the bottom knee float up. And on that bolster that's between your legs, place it underneath your legs in a horizontal way. And let the legs stretch out in front of you as we make our way into our final resting pose. Make any adjustments, let the arms fall open, palms facing the sky. Let the eyes close, roll in and upward. Notice how deeply relaxed you are. Now, very slowly and gently, allow your awareness to return to the breath, to the body.
Draw deep inhale through the nose. Fill your body from your feet to the top of the head. And let out a big giant sigh through your mouth, releasing anything that no longer serves you, that no longer has its place in your life. Release it with the out breath. And allow some gentle movement to return in the toes, the fingers, maybe gently moving the head from side to side. And then allow for a nice big body yawn. As you inhale, float the arms overhead. Lift the back of the ribs away, expand through your toes. And as you exhale, gently hug one knee at a time into your belly, into your chest. Give yourself a well-deserved hug, gently rocking your body from side to side. And then just allow yourself to fall into one side, into a fetal position. And just stay there for a moment. Notice how you feel. And then take as much time as you need to allow yourself to rise in to a seated posture of your choice. Maybe be seated exactly the same way that you begin class in this morning. Spine is tall, shoulders down and back. And we'll place our hands into Yoni Mudra. Yoni Mudra is thumb and index fingers together. And then you curl the other fingers in and you kind of hook them. So the other fingers are in like this. Yeah, so they're just curled in. Index fingers to thumb, others are curled in. And you place it at the base of the spine here, elbows hugging into the sides of your body. And Yoni Mudra is very great for invoking creativity into our life. So allow your eyes to close for a moment as we hold this mudra. Gaze strongly at the third eye. Feel the subtle energy moving within you. And slowly release Yoni Mudra. Bring your hands together at the heart in Namaskar or Anjali Mudra. Let the head bow into the heart as we take a moment for gratitude. What do you feel grateful for at this moment? What arises? Notice the symbolism of the forehead, the prefrontal cortex, the thinking mind, the thinking brain, bowing in reverence to the intelligence of your heart space, the heart brain. When they work together in a coherent state, we arrive in flow state. And slowly lift the head. We will complete our sadhana, our practice, with the sound of Om. We'll inhale, we'll let out a sigh, and then we'll inhale to chant Om. So deep inhale to sigh. Inhale to chant. Shanti, Shanti,
Shanti. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I hope you have a wonderful day. We'll see you.